pull a surprise altogether in the knockout competition.
Yeah, so that is a Division 1 team's epiphany pulling out. And don't forget, they were the regional champions in Division 1 before they went to the Middle League. Jonina qualified on the husband. So definitely, Jonina is not a team that we are looking at. They are looking at maybe next season we might be seeing them in the Premier League. So we'll take it away. These are the fixtures for this weekend, match day 12. We have Kumasi Sports Academy taking on Prisons Ladies, and then Pelpia Ladies will be at home to Fosu Royal Ladies, and Pim Dakwan will be taking on Northern Ladies. Just first and second, we'll see how that match go. Interesting match there. And then Tamale Super Ladies will be taking on Dream Ladies, and then Supreme Ladies hosting Ashtown Ladies. When you come to the Southern Zone, we have Lady Strikers will be taking on Hazakers, and then Soccer Intellectuals at home to Faith Ladies, and then Army Ladies will be taking on Sea Lions, and then Jonina will be taking on Police Ladies later on Monday. But today, match of the day is Berry Ladies taking on Essiam Socrates, and then it's going to be an interesting fixture. Looking at how Berry Ladies will be talking about it, but we are in the locker room now. Let's get to the locker room and see the home team that will be Berry Ladies coming up. This is how it will be. This. So Esther, locker room, but the surprising results for match day 11, you could see Sea Lions beating Berry Ladies by 5-2. Surprising results from there.
Very surprising results there for Berry Ladies, having lost. So that made it their 2 consecutive defeats in a row this season, because they had lost initially on match day 10 here at the Medina Astroturf when they hosted Fit Ladies. They lost by a narrow goal, and then they went ahead on the road, lost in a very huge margin of 5-2, and they had to be inflicted with that pain by Sea Lions, and that makes the whole narrative very unpleasant for Berry Ladies altogether. So it's been very difficult for them, and I hope that heading into this game as they play at the home, they will be able to pick up their pieces and then give out their best.
So that is Essiam Socrates locker room now, as you can see them with an orange and black jersey out there for this afternoon match. So we'll be talking about them. Esther, quickly, we have to look at them. As it says, 9th on the table, Essiam Socrates. This season hasn't been good for them. We know Essiam Socrates to be a top 5 team, but this season, what is really happening to the technical team and the players as well?
It's been very terrible, shambolic and abysmal to say the least, from a team like Essiam Socrates, a team that had its debut way back in 2013 in the top tier of the Women's Premier League, having featured so much and competed very keenly, ended up the season as part of the top 4. And then they begin their 2nd consecutive season in the league, and they end up, recording such all 4 starts after 11 games played so far. Very, very bad results for them. And here they are, lying on the 9th position in the Southern Zone for the league table, and then flirting with relegation. That's very, very unfortunate one for them, with just 8 points amassed out of a possible, in terms of the 11 games that they have played, only 8 points to their credit, and that it's a very difficult result for any hierarchy of a team to take so far as playing in the top tier of the league is concerned. And I'm hoping so much well that they would be able to ensure that with the remaining games, although it's always difficult, we've had this trajectory of having teams with 8 points after match day 12, unable to, sustain their spot in the top tier. They end up being relegated. We saw what happened to Tender Queens. We equally saw what happened to Immigration Ladies. And this time around, Essiam Socrates are trying to find themselves in the same fate, unless something miraculously happened. However, when there is a dramatic change in terms of their performance before, they will be able to do things better. But to score only 9 goals and concede as many as 15 goals is quite a very terrible result for a team to take.
Not a pleasant result for Essiam Socrates over there, but at least it's still close. The one in front of them, just Soccer Intellectuals, and then Jonina have 12 points, and then Lady Strikers have 13 points. So second half, maybe, just maybe, they can turn things around. Some people, they have a team, automatically they have teams that do well in the second one. They pick up points in the second one. But if you have a good team and then you have really had this long break to adjust things, for maybe it can be a turn up for Junina ladies. But my point is, when you can't just see Berry ladies playing last to Sea Lions beating them 5 goals to 2 at the Indum Sports Stadium. This is the warm-up of the two teams. Berry ladies in there. Is it hot pink, or how do you call it? I just can't describe their color. I'm not seeing it as pink. I'm not seeing it as hot pink. But it's got a lovely color in there. That is a sweet berry.
Yeah.
So this is the warm-up for the home team as they are warming up for this interesting fixture that will be coming up here. The 4th taking on the 9th on the Southern Zone fixtures. But Esther, let's look at the technical team for these two teams. What are we going to see? What is going to bring the difference? Who is going to make the changes, looking at the lineup as we have here?
Starting with Berry ladies, obviously lying 4th on the league table for the Southern Zone, scoring 18 goals, conceding as many as 19 goals. Not the best of records. In terms of the games that they have played at home, they've lost 2 home games so far this season, and that's quite a different start altogether for Berry ladies. But having lost their last home game, losing on the road as well to Sea Lions, coming back once again to Medina Astroturf, and looking at how the coach has charged up his team ahead of this game, he's counting on his experienced players, obviously, Ampoma Jacqueline, and then a player like Cynthia Yadom, and then Martha Apia. Oh my goodness, what a great player altogether for Berry ladies. And these are the players, the key ones among them, that the technical team are counting on them to give them the best of results in today's encounter. But then again, as is often said, I remember a quote that, as was said by Abubakar, he said that the dying days of a horse are usually very powerful. So we can't tell if today the dying days of a team like Essiam Socrates are going to be that powerful edge or drive that they need in order to pick another huge victory altogether here. Because don't forget, Essiam have never won a game on the road this season. In their last 5 games, they've lost as many as 4 and then drawn only 1. So the best of results that Essiam have gotten on the road this season is 1 point. But maybe they might be dreaming for the apex, that is 3 points. You can never tell. Football, as usual, is full of uncertainties.
It's full of uncertainties. Looking at the last fixtures they played against Sea Lions, Poshua Sechua, Martha Pia, Ernestina Mwate, and then Cynthia were not in the squad that went to Elmina. I guess that was why they recorded that huge results from the Indum Sports Complex. But looking at this today they are back in the lineup, and then I could see there will be a difference. They are prepared for it, because you just can't let that point. They were second. If they could have maintained that score line, or if they had won, they would have been in the second position. But they have allowed Army and Faith ladies to come in between, so they still need to work up if they have to stay in the top 4 of the competition. Looking at Essiam Socrates, what should they do? They have done their very best. I don't know how sharp they are at this time, because they had this very long break.
They are sharp on their flanks. You know, they used to have Helen Alomenu, who has now left the shores of Ghana to the States in order to further her education and then her football career. And then in her absence, I'm counting on a player like Frederica Kai Adiko, a sprinter who is very solid on the wings. And that's how the setup of Essiam Socrates has always been. You know, they always operate from the flanks, and then that's where their strength lies. And I'm hoping that they will be able to do quite a very good game altogether in this encounter. And then again, their goalkeeper, Vivian Donko, who has always been very great, making huge saves, but ends up, conceding goals. And this is where I'm hoping that their technical team have worked so much well on their strengths and then on their weaknesses, because they can't afford to be relegated out of the top tier after their second season altogether in the top tier.
Okay, so your first prediction for the first half?
A first goal in the first half for the home team.
Okay, so Esther is predicting a first win or a first half win for the home side, which is Berry Ladies. It's going to be an interesting fixture, as Berry Ladies will be taking on Essiam Socrates here at 2. But other centres across the continent will be taking on as well. So don't forget, if you are closer to any of the venues, will have to be Lady Strikers and Hazakers Ladies today at 3 p.m. And then Soccer Intellectuals is also taking on Faith Ladies also at 3 p.m. When you go to the Northern Zone, we have Kumasi Sports Academy taking on Prisons Ladies. And then Pelpia Ladies is also taking on Fosu Royal Ladies at the various centers. So if you are closer to any of the centers, you can just grab yourself a bottle of chilled Malta Guinness as this hot sun, relax and enjoy. This Women's Premier League is the Malta Guinness Women's Premier League, as we will match day 12 and interesting fixtures on your way. So whichever is closer to you, Northern and Southern Zone, you can. Very soon, Esther will be taking us through the first 45 minutes of the match between Berry Ladies and Essiam Socrates.
Welcome to the Medina AstroTurf. It's match day 12 of the Malta Guinness Women's Premier League. After the recess for the African Games and the FA Cup, the clubs are back to continue from where they left off in the match day 11. Good afternoon for me, Esther Abankwa, alongside Nafisa Fatal. It's good to have you with us for the next 90 minutes. It's Berry Ladies squaring it off with the Central Regional based team, Essiam Socrates. What will be the turnout and how prepared are they heading into this huge encounter altogether, with an atmosphere quite good for association football? 35 degrees for this afternoon's encounter. A huge game as the two teams have been edged onto the field. The last time Berry Ladies won a game here at home was indeed on March day 8, and since then they found difficulties, maintaining their momentum and then their perfect of records whilst playing at home. But how will they fare, and how has Coach Freeman worked efficiently on these girls in order for them to give him the best of results? As 2 home defeats for Berry Ladies, perhaps the narrative might be different. The match commissioner for today, Benedicta Wamadi, has ushered the two teams onto this field, and indeed she hails from Volta region. The center referee is Mariama Yonasa, who is a FIFA referee and is a secretary by profession. Benedicta Ayaji and Winifred Adoko, together with Kakraba Bridget, will be the assistant referees for today's encounter. Berry Ladies at home to Essiam Socrates.
Berry Ladies will have to go all out, since their last match they won here was match day 8. They need the momentum, they need to grab points, they need to make sure they get all the 3 points to make sure they are in the top 4.
So this is how the teams are charged ahead into the game. Grace Krofi Amwa will be in goal post for Berry Ladies. Cynthia Boachi Yadam, Comfort Kobena, Jacqueline Amponsa Ampoma, Helen Kusanaji, Ernestina Amwatin, Janet Kokose, Portia Situa, Martha Apia, Victoria Amenyo, Deborah Ano, and their coach is Paul Klinsman Freeman. Together, on the other hand, the Western side have these charges ahead of the game. Vivian Donko will be in goal post for Essiam Socrates, Hannah Nyame, and then Fuseni Afusatu, Boachi Efia Iyadom, together with Ekia Nyameche, Joycelyn Amwa, Sarah Eisin, and then Barbara, together with Presla Otusom and then Fuseina Annan. And that is how these teams have charged up heading into this game. Pre-match rituals before we kickstart here at the Medina Astroturf.
Crucial match for these two teams, very crucial for Essiam Socrates because they need to lift up their game. They need to close up the gap and make sure they survive in this year's Malta Guinness Women's Premier League. They have nothing to lose, but they need that crucial 3 points to make sure they are surviving match day 12.
Continuation of the pre-match rituals, and that's also a confirmation of the referees for today's encounter. Quite a very blissful Saturday afternoon here at the Medina Astroturf in the capital of Ghana. What will be the results and what should we expect? The last time Berry Ladies played at home, they lost so painfully in the hands of Fit Ladies by a lone goal. That was a game that came in the dying embers of the game. A defeat that they had so much thought wouldn't have happened to them. But as it said, football is full of uncertainties. It has its days, it has its moments together, and then its seasons. They went on the road hoping to have a very good of results. They ended up being trashed by 5-2 in the hands of returnees Sea Lions. That was quite also a result that they never expected to happen to them. Here they are playing against Essiam, a team that in their last 3 encounters they have won 2 of it and then lost to 1. You would perhaps say that the stats and the results might favor them. But having the likes of Essiam Socrates, Frederica Kai Adiko, and then Ekia Nyameche, will they also rise to the occasion and give their side the victory?
They need to put everything they have on their sleeve on the pitch today, making sure that they need to grab all 3. Both teams, I guess, if you ask me who needs that much vital 3 points, I'll go for Essiam Socrates. But how would they be able to amass that? But their last result wasn't that bad. Losing just a long goal to Hazakas Ladies, you might be thinking they are picking up, but definitely they need to do much more to make sure they close the gap to maintain them in the Malta Guinness Women's Premier League.
Mariama is in charge for this afternoon's encounter, and there you have goalkeeper Grace Akrofi Amwa of Berry Ladies in her apex, in her final moments, going through the final hurdles before referee blows a whistle to get us underway here in this encounter. And there we go, Mariama with a whistle, and it will be the home team, Berry Ladies, to get us started. And Estina Moatin for Berry Ladies with a very swift pass, finding the feet of Deborah Ano as they search forward. Cynthia Wachi-Iyadom losing the ball out. But Janet manages to get something advantageous in that aspect for her team. And that is the free kick awarded to Janet Osei-Koko of Berry Ladies. It's a must-win game for the home side. They've suffered 2 consecutive defeats. And that's not the result that any coach would want for his side. And Vivian Donko would have to ensure that she has a very formidable wall before this free kick is effected. It's flung in by huge clearance from Essiam Socrates. And Martha Apia would have to send it back only for it to reach as far as where Ekia Nyameche of Essiam Socrates is, with a good control, hoping to find the running feet of her teammate, Wachi-Iyadom. Throw in to the home side. And as often, these teams have started quite very cautiously, trying to avoid any form of mistakes that can end up being very, very painful one for them in the long run.
Essiam Socrates is just trying to settle in for now. Don't forget, they all use AstroTurf, so they are used to this very kind of pitch. It's not new to both of them, and then they are just trying to settle in and make sure. Definitely, when you are trekking, you need to be disciplined on the field of play as in the early minutes before you settle in.
Throw in quickly taken by Essiam Socrates, Hannah Nyame. And they are doing it swiftly, gradually, slowly, but with a vision and a focus. Ekwe Nyameche, her effort to find Joycelyn Amwa wasn't fruitful. Frederica Kai Adiko for Essiam Socrates manages to escape away from a player, but the second fell through. Jacqueline Ampoma Amponsa on the other hand for Berry Ladies. Jacqueline turns and solicits for support from Ernestina Amwate. And Ernestina, in her quest to keep possession for Berry Ladies, ended up with that foul on Frederica Kai Adiko. Before the game, I indicated that obviously Essiam have their strength majorly on the flanks. And that's why Frederica Kai Adiko has started her job as often as usual very early in the minutes of the game.
Skillful player, agility, pace, endurance is very good. You have to be wary of her when she has the ball. She has a very good control over the ball when she is on it. But you will have to, she's a bit slow when you need to join her in the her strategy when she's on the offensive. You have to make sure you have to move with her. That's something about Frederica. She's very good, but when she's moving, you need to communicate with her and then make sure she's on the right track with you. Definitely not that she normally gets it not being done, and then she has to go for whatever she has to.
The effort of Frederica Kai Adiko was blocked by Berry Ladies Deborah Ano. It will be goal kick to Berry Ladies. Grace Crofi Amoa of Berry Ladies, the goalkeeper, goes for the ball as she looks forward for her team to build from behind in this game. 17 points for Berry Ladies, lying fourth on the league table out of the southern zone. Boachi Efia Iadom. And that's another effort which wasn't purposeful for another goal kick going the way of the home side. So Berry Ladies are yet to successfully come out of their lines. Looking at the high press of the visiting side, Essiam Socrates.
Essiam has been in this team just for less than 5 minutes, and they are making all clear-cut incursion. They need the 3 points, and they will have to do everything in control to make sure they amass that 3 points. But how they'll be able to do it swiftly, Martha, Cynthia are watching them closely.
Annan Fusena for Essiam Socrates. It's followed up by Afusatu Fusaini, Ekwe Nyameche. But Barbara Mafo was a bit lethargic in getting that pass. Cynthia Boachi Yadom. Free kick to Essiam Socrates. And Essiam Socrates would effect this. Hannah Nyame with a long one in. And that is also a visionless attempt, not even on target. And that's the third aimless passes that have been sent into the final third of Berry Ladies. They need to be very clinical and very intentional in creating of those chances. Essiam Socrates if they are to get anything meaningful in these possessions that they have gotten so far in the early minutes of the game. Free kick. Afusatu gets free kick for Essiam Socrates. And this is a set piece that Wachi Efia Iyadom has fancied and will be taking it for Essiam. Will this be on target? It's swung in, but went straight into the arms of goalkeeper Grace Amoa of Berry Ladies. Match day 12 of the Malta Guinness Women's Premier League, live on Max TV, kind courtesy of IMAX Media, as Berry Ladies play host to Essiam Socrates. Cynthia Boache Iyadom with a handball. Cynthia, you would say, happened to be the most experienced player in the Berry Ladies setup.
Together with Matapia. Portia Boachwas also.
Cynthia Boache Iyadom with a good pass, finding Victoria Magnon. A pursuit there by Janet Kokose, which Vivian read through very thoroughly. Another ward of that danger from the final third of her team. As we approach the 10th minute, we are yet to have a goal that will make the fans who have turned up here in their numbers very joyous, because that's the main reason why they come to witness those wonderful goals scored. Cynthia Boache for Berry Ladies. Another great interception by Annan Futsena.
Ruled offside there.
Joycelyn Amoa couldn't time her run well to perfection. Ended up finding herself in the offside position. Something that the referee spotted clearly, without any doubts. Frederica Kaya Diko, who ends up running into traffic. Mata Apia. Mata to Helen. And Mata receives it back. Jacqueline, who has Hannah Nyame to contend with, and it is the latter that wins that tussle. Free kick. Joycelyn Amoa getting that free kick for her team. Whenever these two teams meet, it has always been very intriguing. When they met on the 11th of November 2023, it was a sweet victory for Essiam Socrates, and that was when they were debutants in the league. They trashed Berry Ladies by 3-1. And that happened to be the only victory that they've had over Berry Ladies. That 3-1 victory at the Mankasim Astroturf in Mankasim, the central region of Ghana. And since then, all the results have favored the home team in this encounter. 2 victories for them, as they hope to make it their third in the March day 12 of the Malta Guinness Women's Premier League.
Home advantage for Berry Ladies. And yet it seems Essiam, who have settled in the early stages, and then they are making clear-cut chances. They have dominated the midfield, as you can see, but they are not clinical. They are not really constructive when they get into the box. They are just being wasteful in front of goalposts. They need to be very, very clinical and make sure they get it accurate in front of goalposts, because they haven't been threatening. Even though they have won most of the midfield battles, they are not being constructive.
Free kick going the side of Berry Ladies as it's flown in, but Captain Hannah Nyame, well rooted at the right spot for Essiam with that clearance. Joycelyn for Essiam Socrates, sprouts away from one. throw in. The referee plays the advantage. And this is a ball for Grace to save her team from conceding very early in the opening half of this game. And she does that with ease. Free kick. A trick there. Free kick after Comfort was fouled. It's flown in. And Jacqueline managed to get an advantage for her team because Vivian was very indecisive in gathering it for Essiam Socrates. She ends up conceding a corner kick. These are some of those moments that can end up terribly for your team. It's flown in, a header in. Vivian comes out but fails to gather. The final effort there from Victoria Amenyo wasn't on target. That could have proved very costly. That is how it was swung in, with Vivian, the goalkeeper of Essiam, failing to gather it. They haven't said Victoria going down, giving her that act that she needs to get up. Nothing happened to her, and that she shouldn't expect anything like a penalty.
Vivian should be careful because the first one was a very tricky one indeed. Just looking at it, it was very, very tricky between she and Amponsa on that note, giving away a corner kick. And then when it was swung in, wasn't able to grab it the first time around. That has to be a rebound sometimes will cost you dearly. And she seems to be okay now. She's been attended to. Their last game against Hazakes, she was on the bench. She wasn't a starter, or it wasn't the goalie for Essiam Socrates. But this time around, she's back. I guess she's well fit and could continue this match. She's up on her feet now. I guess there's nothing to worry about for Essiam Socrates. They will continue. And calmly, she has to be doing very well on that note. It's in the box, it has to be your role. You need to get control. As a goalkeeper, you need to be accurate. Your judgment has to be just on point to make sure you clear your lines and then you save your team for unnecessary giving out free kicks and then penalty awarding to the opposition. I guess she's okay now. She's back on her feet and then game will continue shortly.
Vivian Donko, due to a head injury that she had in their game when they had their debut in the top tier of the Women's Premier League, and since then she has been in the headgear as she needs to be in that protective shield in her recovery moments. Frederica Kayadiko, another throw-in for Essiam Socrates. Cynthia Boache gathers it for Berry Ladies. Sets up Janet Kokosei. It's throw in. Frederica Kaya Adiko intercepts. Barbara Mafo. Match day 12 of the Malta Guinness Women's Premier League live on Max TV. Berry Ladies playing from left to right in this encounter, whereas Essiam Socrates in their orange playing from right to left. Jacqueline Amponsa Ampoma with a good delivery in. The control by Portia Sechua was not the best, which paved way for Essiam to clear. And that is a free kick to Berry Ladies at a very presentable position. That is, if it's well taken, they might get a positive result out of this. Cynthia Boache Iyadom.
She the specialist to take that free kick.
Cynthia with Deborah Ano. Berry ladies used to have Priscilla Cynthia Ajuman as their set piece taker. Occasionally you would see Cynthia Boache Iyadom doing it as well. But this time around they have Deborah behind it who goes for the low drive, and that is a swift and a sweet save for Vivian.
It's a low drive and that wouldn't cause any havoc to Vivian Donko on that note. First half, still goalless. Much more possession has been Essiam Socrates, but yet they haven't scored either.
Cynthia Boache cannot believe that the referee had to give that advantage to Ekwia Nyameche, and she truly had to protest. But the referee also had to let her know that she was rooted at where the incident happened. She saw whatever transpired, and that should be a free kick. Yeah.
It has been a fair game this afternoon. Not much, as we can see, for both teams, but clearly they are on a mission. Who is going to spice up, who is going to gear towards that first goal? It seems Essiam Socrates are on the verge of maybe striking that first goal, but there could be a surprise for the home team.
Free kick taken by Berry Ladies. Wasted effort. Goal kick. Berry Ladies, they lost on match day 10 to Fit Ladies, lost on match day 11 to Sea Lions by 5-2. They lie fourth on the league table with 17 points, having won 5 games, losing 4 and drawing 2 of their games. They've scored as many as 18, but they have a deficit of 1 because they have conceded 19. And in all their games that they have played against Essiam Socrates, and they have 2 victories to their credit. And their last 5 encounters, Berry Ladies have won 2 and lost 3 of them. Comfort Yeboah, who didn't start today's game, will be looking forward to increase her tally for her side. You look at the save that was made by Grace Akrofi of Berry Ladies, and you would wonder how Essiam wanted to cause an upset with that feeble effort. Essiam Socrates, Joycelyn Amoa. And that is where Portia Sichua would have to take the ball off her feet. Joycelyn Amoa, who seemed to have picked a knock, is hoping to be treated, whilst the referee engages in a brief of a dialogue with her to know what exactly her woes are. Although it's a Saturday afternoon, and warm one for that matter, the fans, as often as always, with their love for women's football, had to be here in their numbers to support their team and cheer them on to victory. So there you have a number of them at the Medina AstroTurf. Goal kick to Berry Ladies.
Since the long break, you can see that some of these ladies have been on a long break as well, enjoying their breaks. It looks that they are heavy with this very first match that we are looking at. They are a bit heavy and they are slowing down the game. It seems they were not even ready for this particular encounter. Some of the attitude of the players on the pitch I'm seeing right now looks as if they really enjoy the holidays to the extent that they are really not moving the pace as we can see them. Their trademark is really difficult.
Corner kick. So that's how the build-up was from Victoria Amenyo. And obviously, Priscilla Otusom had to make that block a very committed one. As we approach the 25th minute of the game, it's still goalless. Berry Ladies on the ascendancy. Janet Koko gives away possession to Essiam Socrates. Setua Portia recovers that possession, which ends up to be an advantage for Berry. The throw-in has been taken by Victoria Amenyo. Essiam Socrates with that advantage. Martha appear to Grace Crofi. Fusena to AEC. Throw-in swiftly taken by Priscilla Otusom. Cynthia Boachi Yadom. And Berry Ladies have gotten their straw. Afusatu for Essiam. She thought of simplicity as the simplest, of course, form of safety. Hence the clearance to. How about this for a free kick for Berry Ladies on the edge of the penalty area? Was it in the penalty area? Right on the edge of it.
Was it even a foul?
Essiam should be thankful to their stars because they would have conceded early penalty.
There wasn't enough contact for that one to be called a foul.
That is for the referee's discretion. She feels the contact was a bit massive enough to warrant that advantage. Sometimes others question whether referees looking at the microseconds that they have to take decisions, whether they will end up taking the best of decisions. Janet Koko said this time around, Helen was unmarked but couldn't get a contact after the ball was swung in. That could have been a perfectly set up goal. Unmarked, Helen, this should have been goal bound. Another good opportunity not utilized by Berry Ladies. Hannah Nyame for Essiam Socrates. But Victoria gets it to Jacqueline Ampomamponsa. But how about that for a stop from Hannah Nyame?
Hannah has been a thorn in their flesh when it comes to the heart of defense. She has been so good for the very first 30 minutes now that you can see she's really working out. No wonder she's the captain of the side and she's doing her work diligently behind. And she does create that kind of, look at the body builds of the size of her body. Is she bullying them with it?
Football has never played with the strength. The strength and the physique, of course, comes in some certain moments as a bit of advantage. But football, with its basics and logic, is always played with the mind. It's about how intelligent you think when you have the ball, how swift you are when you are off the ball, and the decisions you make when you get the ball that distinguishes you from the remaining players on the pitch. Free kick.
She's a combination of all.
Zamorano. And this wasn't another successfully taken free kick by Berry Ladies. They need to work on their set pieces. Football has evolved. And sometimes the only opportunity you can get to score a goal are through some of these set pieces. And that's why in some of these advanced leagues in the Western world, we have set piece coaches. And most of them have been producing very huge results. It's one game by Essiam Socrates, but Martha Apia shepherds it. Very good for Berry Ladies. Goal kick. Uh, 30 minutes of action, and it's still goalless. Berry Ladies playing against Essiam. Frederica Kai Adiko. A howler there by Berry Ladies that nearly proved costly because Frederica Kai Adiko was lurking around with intention. Just when she had that loose ball, tried her possible best to swing away from Cynthia Boacheyado, but Cynthia had to commit that tactical foul to rescue her team. Ekwia Nyameche will take this free kick for Essiam Socrates. Hence the need for Grace Akrufi to have a very good wall before the free kick is taken. But this, if it's well taken, should be goal bound. Ekwia Nyameche. She ends up ballowing it. Goal kick. Wasn't even on target.
Both teams have been taking advantage of the set pieces that they have gained. It seems there's no specialist among them to convert when it comes to set pieces, but they need to do more. Water break on that note. The sun is about 30 degrees here at the Medina Estrotep. Match day 12. Berry Ladies on the way to see if they can get a win on the match day 12. They've gone match day 10, match day 11, bad day in the office for them. Here at home, seeing what they can do. They need to amass points. But here they are in the top 4, so I guess they are relaxed.
Other games that will be taking place in the match day 12 of the Malta Guinness Women's Premier League. Prisons Ladies will be playing against Kumasi Sports. Helpia Ladies, together with a team like Lady Strikers and Hazakers. Soccer Intellectuals will be hosting Fit Ladies. So these are quite a number of games that will be taking place across the match venues for the match day 12 of the Malta Guinness Women's Premier League. We're just 6 games to end the season. And if you look at some of the results that have trooped in after the first 30 minutes of action, Lady Strikers against Hazakers is still goalless. They are back from the break and the game would continue. Berry Ladies, Deborah No. with that lovely fit. It's free kick to Berry Ladies. And Portia Situa had to ensure that she obviously had that advantage for her side. Zebrano would take it. She managed to find Janet Koko Osei, who couldn't keep the ball alive. It goes behind. Essiam Socrates. Jacqueline with that hot chase on the ball, hoping to at least find her way into the final third of Essiam Socrates.
Story in for Essiam Socrates. Quickly infected. Akuya trying to be constructive. She's being dispossessed still with Essiam Socrates. Berry Ladies trying to clear their lines. And they managed to get a free kick in their favor.
So you look at how Berry Ladies as a team have fared so far since the 2023-2024 season of the Malta Guinness Women's Premier League. Their results in their last 11 games. On the match day one, they played a draw game with Army Ladies, managed to pick a point on the road. It was 1-1 at the end of 90 minutes. At home, they beat Soccer Intellectuals in match day 2 by 3-1. On match day 3, they were hosted by Jonina, a game that they lost 3-0. On match day 4, Berry Ladies returned to winning ways, beating Police Ladies by 2-1. And on match day 5, they lost at home to Fate Ladies. So this is how some of the crucial results so far have been. And these are the results that they have managed so much well to better themselves as the season unfolds, with just 6 games to end the season. Would we be having a similar narrative of having both Ampim Dakwa Ladies and Hazakers in the grand finale, just as we've had in the last 3 seasons? Or perhaps there is going to be a different twist to this whole narrative. The half volley attempt by Barbara Maffo goes straight to goalkeeper Grace, who quickly starts the game altogether for her side. Frederica Kai Adiko, and she has Martha Apia to contend with. Barbara Maffo holds on to the ball. It's swung in, not on target. Goal kick. It's goal kick to Berry Ladies. And Berry, as a home team, haven't been very incredibly upfront with their performance. On the other hand, the team that has gotten most of those attempts has to be the Western side. And that is something that no one anticipated. In as much as football, it's full of uncertainties.
The busiest side had been Essiam Socrates all along, but they are not clinical in front of goalposts. They have been constructive in the midfield, cohesion, teamwork. Communication has been better when it comes in the heart of the center of the pitch. But getting closer to the box, how to be clinical has been something that they need to really work on if they really have to pick up the 3 points here.
Looking at how Essiam, the away team, are playing in this game, you might want to think that this is perhaps an improved performance from them. Looking at their 5 last away games, which hasn't been satisfactory at all. They lost by a lone goal to Lady Strikers. Fed Ladies beat them by 2-1. The only away good results that Essiam have gotten this season had to be with a draw that they had with debutant Jonina. Army Ladies beat them by 2-0, and Hazakes baptized them by 3-1. So the last 5 games of Essiam Socrates, it has been just a draw and 4 defeats. How would this game pan out? Jacqueline Ampoman-Ponsa, but the ball had crossed the line already before she could send in a delivery.
The technical team has to take a look at Essiam Socrates again, because I witnessed that match at Johnny and Kupa. They were in the high spirit. You can see that they have that game plan. They have that kind of teamwork and cohesion, but they are not clinical. They are always wasteful when it comes to goal scoring. Look at all the goals of the matches that they have lost. It's either a just goal margin between them and the opponent. It's not that they concede that much, but they are also not being clinical when it comes to scoring. They need to get more strikers to make sure, or the experienced ones up front to make sure they bury in the goals for them.
A good attempt on target by Cynthia Boachi-Yadom, which finds the hands of goalkeeper Vivian Donko. And she had to quickly set the ball rolling to get affairs underway for her team. Cynthia Boachi, Portia in that tangle with Priscilla Otusom. We are almost approaching the 40 minutes of this encounter, but the scoreline still remains goalless. It's Very Ladies 0, Essiam Socrates 0. And the conversion rate, just as Nafisa rightly indicated, is what Essiam Socrates need to work very much on in all their subsequent games. They need to convert efficiently and avoid defeats. Because to be on the 9th position with 6 games to end the season, flirting with relegation, is not any narrative that the hierarchy of a team would want to have in any season. Free kick, Hannah Nyame, the captain of Essiam, is behind the ball for them. We should go for a goal, or they've worked something out from training that they might exhibit for us all to see. She goes for goal and hits the woodwork. Good attempts as compared to the previous. She went for the goal. Right, look at the distance involved. A very traveling strike. And the woodwork had to rescue Berry from conceding a goal before the first half elapsed.
Was just between Hannah and the woodwork. They would have registered the first goal, and they would have deserved it when it happens this way. They need to be at least composed. I'm not seeing what is wrong with Essiam Socrates. The first 2 seasons has been brilliant for the team itself, but I'm still not convinced with this season. Struggling, 2 draws and 1 win is something that they really need to work about. I know they are worried about it, but I don't know how they are fighting it, how they are making sure they get that kind of experienced people in their team to help them go forward. Before, they used to have this young, talented. It doesn't mean Helen has taken something out of their team, because one person moving out of the team and all of a sudden it just went down. It's something that they need to really work on, and it's putting pressure on them as it's now. 6 matches more to go, 8 points, relegation threatened. You have to be playing every match with tension till the end of the round of 18, which is not good for them.
All that they need to do, Essiam, has to do with the fact that they need to work on the psyche of the players. It's only the absence of one player. The influence of Helen shouldn't take away their drive, their determination, and their passion to get in goals. Frederica was lacking right in front of Grace Crofi, who wasn't ready to take chances. They have all the other key players around. That was the initial attempt that Frederica Kayadiko was hoping to have gotten a touch on it before Grace did, but it wasn't successful. Ipia Nyamiche is still with the team. Frederica Kayadiko is also with the team. Priscilla Otusom is there. Sarah Eason, together with Hannah Nyamiche and Lemboachi Efia Yadom. And their goalkeeper is still in charge, Vivian Donko. There's only new additions that they've gotten, Jocelyn Amwe and then Barbara Mafo. So the team is still intact. The only missing thing is their drive. And that is what they need to work on to avoid going back to Division 1.
They haven't lost it though, but they are not clinical because looking at it, they have dominated. The heart of midfield has been there. They have been constructive. They are passing, very constructive. But I'm not sure when it comes in front of goalposts, they seems to be blasting the ball anywhere.
It's free kick to Berry Ladies with just some few minutes to end the first half. Vivian needs to at least have a clean sheet before the first half ends here at the Medina AstroTurf. She has given her all. She hasn't fared bad at all. But she needs to do what she has done earlier since the game began, and that is to defend another dead ball situation, which has Deborah and then Cynthia Boachiyadon behind. She goes for goal, and then once again, the woodwork comes to the rescue of Essiam Socrates. A very powerful drive. That means the effort of Deborano and then Hannah Nyame. The two teams have been saved by the woodwork. It would have been 1-1 as at the moment.
I guess it would have been a happy moment because looking at it, they need that goals to get them going. When you play for more than 30 minutes and there's no goal scored, definitely the momentum of the match and the tempo of the match is down. But if they should have had those moments, then game on for both teams, knowing they are doing something better.
3 minutes of additional time. In 3 minutes, Helen is thrown in. Mata appear for Berry Ladies. She had to just ensure that she shepherds the ball and of course prevent Barbara Mafo from getting it. And that is the little of patience that Barbara Mafo couldn't get. She ends up fouling Martha Appiah.
There's no time to waste. She needed to get that ball as quickly as possible to see what she can do with it. But Martha was just comfortable, just making sure it goes in her favor as a goal kick.
Berry Ladies. And they end up getting another free kick. Deborah not there, picking a knock. And that's where the advantage was awarded. The match day 12 of the Malta Guinness Women's Premier League. Other games would equally take place today, and in due course, those fixtures will be made known so that fans can, through these match centers, and watch their teams play. Women's football attaining its height under this current administration. A lot of Ghanaians in general have accepted and embraced women's football. Victoria Menyo. Hannah Nyame. And Hannah Nyame had to come out all that distance to ward off those attempts of Jacqueline Ampoma Amponsa. And that foul is something that Jacqueline wasn't pleased with. She felt that there was too much of a push on her. Fairy Ladies quickly take their free kick. It's handball against Janet Koko Osei.
Should be the very last kick.
Obviously. And that's where the referee, Mariama, blows a whistle to end first half here at the Medina Astroturf. As Berry Ladies 0, Essiam Socrates 0. Match day 12 of the Malta Guinness Women's Premier League. And it's once again goalless for the first half. The teams and the technical bench would have to once again retrade and imbibe into these players what exactly they would want the outlook of their various teams to be in the second half when it commences. But for the first half, it ends. Berry Ladies 0, Essiam Socrates 0. This is how the two teams were ushered onto the pitch by the match commissioner for today, Wamadi. They had nothing but the penultimate target of scoring goals in the first half. The referees had to ensure that before the game
Are you ready to take your chance?
Ghana, get ready to win big with only one Ghana Cedis. Lucky Win is the biggest online casino in Ghana with lots of options for you to win big. Bosu Wankasa. With only one Ghana Cedi, you stand a chance of winning a cash prize of 1 million Ghana Cedis paid instantly into your mobile money wallet. In addition, you win for yourself smartphones, curved TVs, laptops, TCL air conditioners, and many more. So register for free today with a valid mobile phone number on www.luckywin.com.ga and also download the Lucky Win app.
No, it's lucky, lucky win. It's lucky win. Oh, it's lucky win.
The incursions were made, of course, by Essiam Socrates, who was rooted at the heart of midfield for Essiam, had to get most of the possessions and the advantages for her team. this free kick, which was taken by Ekuya Nyameche, went into the arms of Grace. Hannah Nyame, the captain of Essiam, the busiest in terms of the defense for her team. And some of those defensive approach of Berry Ladies. The incursions were continued, and this was where Janet Kokor say was fouled, and there's another low drive save by Vivian Donko. A free kick was awarded on the other hand for Essiam, and Grace had to save. It's been an end-to-end stuff with both teams making lots of attempts, all geared towards getting the needed results in any football game, but Helen couldn't head it home for Berry Ladies. Martha Apia was called to action, and she did that effortlessly. Frederica Kai Adiko and Ekuya Nyameche. And that is where Berry continued with their quest and probing to get the goals. But this was how Ekuya Nyameche was denied the goal by the woodwork. Frederica couldn't get onto that ball, and there's other effort going overboard. Deborah Ano of Berry Ladies took this free kick, but the woodwork denied them again. So it ends here for the first half. Berry Ladies 0. Essiam Socrates 0. Over to Nafisa for the first half discussions and analysis.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the Medina AstroTurf. First half, Berry Ladies 0, Essiam Socrates 0. It has been a normal game. Berry Ladies, as the home team, has been a bit sluggish, has been down. They haven't lifted up their game. They are not there. They are yet. Paul Freeman has a lot to do, or pep talk to do in the very second half, as we will be talking about. Essiam Socrates, on the other note, has stepped up, but they haven't been clinical. They have been wasteful in front of goal post. It took Hannah Nyame woodwork to save Berry Ladies, as the same as Berry Ladies also. The woodwork saved them from the free kick from Deborah Ano to save them on that note. It has been fairly balanced game in the very time, not for Berry Ladies, not for Essiam Socrates, but a normal match we have witnessed match day 12, the first match, and then it seems the coaches have a lot of pep talk to do in the very second half of this match or this encounter. Essiam Socrates needs much more to do. They will have to be clinical if really they need a 3-point to stay in the Malta Guinness Women's Premier League. As I said, Berry Ladies are comfortable. From the way they are playing, it seems they are really comfortable in the position that they find themselves, because they haven't had that kind of energy, they haven't had that kind of zeal that they have put into this match. It's just a normal match for Berry ladies that have seen them play much more, put in much more effort than this. But second half is another whole 45 minutes to play. Esther, first half, normal game for me.
Yeah, it's been a game of chances for the two teams involved. We've seen them creating those chances. It's a bit very disappointing from the home team. They haven't been able to live up to the billing. They haven't been able to hold on to possession, create those chances, infiltrate the half of Essiam Socrates, just as Essiam, on the other hand, have done in the half of Berry ladies. And that's a very worrying situation altogether for coach Freeman. I'm so much certain that he has, from his dugouts, seen all these lapses and would make the necessary corrections before they head back onto the pitch for the second half. Because if you look at the three players up front for Berry ladies, that they are counting on them to get them the goals. Jacqueline is the Janeto Sekoko, is there, and then Portia Sechua as well is equally there for Berry ladies up front, but they have failed to have that telepathic, movement up front, and they failed to have very good penetrative attempts into the half of Essiam Socrates, and that is something that is very perturbing for their side. And I believe that possibly maybe in the second half they would be able to come good and then be able to get the best of results.
They really haven't gotten their midfield working as such. It has been displayed looking at Berry ladies. They haven't had that constructive midfield ball possession within themselves, and it seems they are lacking. I really don't know. Looking at their body posture, it seems they are not. It seems they are not ready for this match because they are putting in. I'm not seeing that effort of Berry ladies that they put in all they are with the 50-50 balls, every corner they are there. This time around, we are not seeing Berry ladies. What could be the problem?
You touched on their midfield. So this is a midfield. If you look at the setup of Coach Klinsmann, he went for the attacking formation. That's the 4-3-3. In midfield, as I've already indicated for their players up front, in midfield, Coach Freeman opted for Comfort Kobana in the midfield. She's supposed to be the defensive midfielder in that. If you look at how he has set the team up, he also has his Helen equally in the midfield, and then Victoria Menyo on the left side of attack for the midfield. And that is where their movement, the supplies from the midfield to the players up front, that is Jeanette, and then Jacqueline Amponsa, and then Portia Sechua, have not really been fluent. It has really been very frequent and consistent for their team, and that hasn't given Berry ladies that sense of urgency, that sharpness up front, that I'm hoping that in the second half coach would ensure that he makes some changes, because I know they have equally very good bench. Because if you look at some of the players that Berry ladies have on their bench, they have a player like Priscilla Sinthim on the bench, who is very good with recoveries.
Felicity is there.
Felicity is also on the bench as well for Berry ladies. So I believe with a little bit of changes and infusion of some of these young and then the old players that you have on the bench, it will be able to give them a very solid team in the second half.
Looking at Essiam Socrates, the build-up is really uniform there from the defense to the midfield, but when they get to attack, that is where the break is. The break is really not connecting. What is really wrong? Because your lady, Frederica Kai, has been good on the ball, very good passer of the baller, but when it comes to her decision in the final third has been something that she's lacking. What is really wrong with her?
If you look at Essiam Socrates, on the other hand, the way you said your lady, if you look at Essiam Socrates, on the other hand, look, this is how the coach has set his team up for Essiam Socrates. He's counting on Frederica Kayadiko, Barbara Mafo, and then Joycelyn, up front. But we've not seen too much of Barbara. We've not seen too much of, how do I call it?
Jocelyn.
We've also not seen too much of her, Joycelyn, as well. Right. So it has made it very difficult for Frederica. She happens to be the sole player up front, on the field. But on paper, they are three. But Frederica Kayadiko ends up, working on the flanks and then also making it into, the final third as well of Berries. And that is where she ends up, being tied because, this is a player that operates from the flanks. So usually, if only Barbara and then Joycelyn have been very, clinical and not lethargical front, I believe that some of the supplies that Frederica has been sending into it, they would have by now, gotten a goal for them because they've really had the most of possession in this first 45 minutes. That is Essiam Socrates. They've had the most of possessions. They've gotten most of the chances, and they've also gotten most of the attempts as well on goal. But their conversion rate is what has been very awful, and I'm looking forward to an improved performance altogether in the second half.
The experienced players, I could say, is Frederica. She's not really getting a good day. It's affecting the team, and I feel instead of 3 up front, why doesn't the coach just lead an arrowhead? Because midfield has been good for them. So drifting her that to the wide is not creating chances. It's not creating chances because whenever she guesses the ball, when she gets the ball at the far right, to be able to cut in, opponent has already closed her down. And she's not that fast player that you can see she can take on players. Who is there for her to pass on to?
That's where I earlier said in my submission that we need to see much more from Joycelyn and then Barbara, more than they've given us so far in the first half, because for the first half they've been average. They haven't, had a very good game. They even haven't got a lot of touches in the final third of Berry Ladies. And if you look at the ability and how versatile Frederica Kayadiko is, she has no problem, operating from the flanks and then making it to the final third. The only thing that she needs is that little edge, that little drive, that little resilience from her partners up front. That is Barbara and then Joycelyn. With that effort from them, a bit of extra effort for them to, give out their best. With that, you would see, Frederica Kayadiko being very efficient in this game.
Meaning Barbara and Joycelyn have to be moving into spaces available for Frederica to give in that final touch or that crucial passes for them to be able to connect, but they shouldn't drop in too much. If they drop in too much, that is where they have problem and they are always caught ball wanting. The home side have been disappointing for me in the very first time because we even predicted that they should have been leading in the very first half, but for the first 15, 20 minutes, we were not seeing Berry Ladies. They were not trying to even bury the ball. I don't know what Freeman is up to because the experienced players are there. The younger ones are there. You have all the blend. With this lineup, why should it be difficult for Paul?
That's why I earlier indicated that, their last home game that they played here
Against Faith.
To Fit Ladies, they ended up on that day, they were a bit more, hungrier for results. And in the long run, they ended up, conceding very late, way back around the 82nd minute of the game. And they were much, much more hungrier in that game as compared to today's event. Because if you look at how the team was, lined or set up by Coach Freeman, there hasn't been too much of a difference. It's just 2 changes that have been made so far by him. So it's just virtually the same team, virtually the same players, and the drive and the passion, I believe, is also the same from the coach. So all that Berry Ladies need to do is to be hungrier, much, much more than they have been in the first half. And with that, they might end up, breaking that jinx of being winless in their last 2 games.
They need to be hungrier because losing back-to-back is not a thing for Berry Ladies. And as much as this time I wish or I feel they could have looked at all those loopholes and then be sharpened much enough to be leading in the very first half, but they are still caught ball wanting. I don't know what is wrong with them when it comes to their home team, but looking at this second half prediction, what would you still go for? Any chance for Berry Ladies from the way they are playing, or Essiam Socrates has the edge of?
My prediction is that may the determined team win.
Esther is trying. Definitely the determined side, but The determined side is not clinical enough and it's costing them a lot, because if they had taken chances and be that clinical, not the woodwork for both sides, maybe you would have been having goals at the very first half.
I was saying that the determined team, so obviously we might end up seeing a different one.
So we might end up seeing the different one. Every half has its energy when it comes to football. 90 minutes, first 45 minutes, and second 45 minutes has its twists and turns. We'll be looking out in the second half who will be much more of the determined side to take on the second 45 minutes. Berry Ladies back-to-back without a win. Essiam Socrates. Esther will be taking us to the next 45 minutes.
Welcome back to the Medina AstroTurf. It's match day 12 of the Malta Guinness Women's Premier League as Berry Ladies play host to Essiam Socrates. It has been a still first half without goals. None of the team have been able to get in the goals for us in this encounter. What have been the talks? What did the coaches reiterate to these players? And how best are they going to exhibit whatever that was taught to them by these coaches on the field for the next 45 minutes? And in the second half is Essiam all in orange playing from left to right, whereas the home team, Berry Ladies in blue-black, playing from right to left. A referee gets it underway with a whistle, and that means we need to continue from where we left off in the first 45 minutes. Free kick. They weren't very much determined. Berry Ladies couldn't create enough of chances. They were a pale shadow of themselves in terms of the performance that they put up in their last home game where they played against Faith Ladies. They've allowed the visiting side to own the game and create the chances. Martha Appiah with that timely intervention there for Berry Ladies, but it goes as far as where Joycelyn is for Essiam Socrates. She manages to send the delivery in. That effort there wasn't on target. Had it found its target, possibly it would have been the first goal for Essiam Socrates. Goal kick. Grace Crofy of Berry Ladies decides to let Deborah Arnold take charge. And Martha Appiah Deborah Arnold takes it for Berry Ladies. It's headed in back once again by Afusatu Fuseni of Essiam Socrates. Vivian Donko. Hannah Nyame. Hannah has been in charge of the midfield, in charge of defense for Essiam Socrates. She has indeed led not only in the heart of defense, but also in determining how the game ends as well for her team. Berry Ladies with a swift free kick taken, and Vivian has to save that because Portia Situa was lurking around with her striking instinct so much intact. Equia Nyameche is followed suit by Priscilla Otusom. Barbara ends up running into traffic, allowing Nestina Moatin to curb up that danger for Berry Ladies. Berry on the ascendancy, but Janet Kokose is in the offside position. And that's how they build up. As we approach the 50th minute, it still remains goalless. Malta up here. Another throw-in going the way of Berry Ladies. Berry Ladies, who have been winless in their last 2 games. They lost narrowly to Fit Ladies. Their second defeat saw a total humiliation in the hands of Sea Lions. It was a 5-2 victory that Sea Lions had over Berry Ladies. Looking at the points build up in the southern zone, it means that if Berries would want to keep their hopes alive of making it in the top 4 and maintaining that spot, that means they need to avoid a defeat. Essiam, on the other hand, if they would want to lift frog from the 9th position, they would need to win this game. Free kick. 50 minutes played. Joycelyn Amoa, who is trying to be much more efficient than she was in the first half, had to be involved. And Malta Apia gets the first yellow card of this game. Referee Mariama brandishes the yellow card, the first of this game, to Malta Apia. They need to defend this in order to avoid a double jeopardy.
She wasn't part of the squad to the Mina Sports Stadium. This time she's back, but she's been dominant a bit.
The free kick has been taken by Boachi Efia Yadom. It's swung in, goalkeeper Krofi does well to come out, and it finds its way into the back of the net. Essiam Socrates. Indeed, they forearmed. They gave all those warnings to Berry Ladies to fortify their defense and avoid conceding. But despite all those warnings, Berry Ladies didn't forearm. The first attempt, Grace Crofty parried, but her defenders were so sluggish in ensuring that the ball had been cleared. And that was indeed an empty pole. Frederica Kai.
Grace had to do better. Failing to grab the first ball led to the traffic, and later on has to find a way into the back of the net. They didn't fight so hard to get it, but the keeper made it easier for Essiam Socrates, who has been working, who has been all over today, grabbing the first goal.
A substitution, of course, by Essiam Socrates. They've taken the lead, which is very vital. Cynthia Boachi Yadom, Berry Ladies. That even would have been offside if it had found its way into the net. And that would have been an equalizer in less than 2 minutes. They were in offside position, both Janet Kokose and Jacqueline of Berry Ladies. But Cynthia was a bit not too swift enough in releasing the ball. By the time that she did, she was already in an offside position. And how about this for a chance for them to double their lead? Essiam Socrates, they ripple the side net. A very improved second half at the moment here at the Medina AstroTurf. And both teams are giving the fans what they came here to see. Frederica Kayadiko could have doubled the lead for Essiam. And she knows perfectly well that that was a chance that needed to be buried.
Goalkeeper can keep her gloves on it. It's not that Essiam Socrates are playing anything exceptional, but it's just that Berry ladies are not living up to expectations. So it's making Essiam look so good to the extent that they will have to keep pushing, because if you give them this opportunity with this kind of energy that they have, they are going to punish you. They just missed another chance. Berry ladies need to lift up their game. They need to lift up their game.
Frederica Kayadiko with another chance here for Essiam Socrates to make it 2. She's pushed off the ball by Malta, and Malta needs to tread cautiously because she's already on a card. Another one would see her take an early shower. And Essiam Socrates, they have improved their performance for the second half. And just like I was saying, that Frederica Kayadiko, all that she needed was a bit of support from Joyce Lane and Barbara. And once she has gotten that support, we've seen her living her dream and then performing superbly for Essiam Socrates. A very tactical change that we see Felicity Ajayi being introduced. She is going to replace Cynthia Boachi-Iyadom, like for like, very experienced player coming in as well to take over the place of another experienced player, Cynthia Boachi-Iyadom.
Cynthia has been mainly a passenger in the very first half. The second half hasn't yielded well for her. No wonder she wasn't in the lineup in their last match. She's back, but she seems lost in a bit. Either she's hiding and nursing an injury, or she hasn't lived up to expectation this time around. She's been substituted. Cynthia coming in like for like. Let's see how they respond to Essiam Socrates.
Berry ladies are trailing at home at the Medina AstroTurf. They can't afford to lose 3 games in a row. They need to gather themselves, pick up their momentum, and get the best of results, because their fans expect much more from them as well. Berry ladies, but Essiam Socrates. Felicity with the first pass. Her contribution to Ernestina Martin saw Ernestina's effort saved by Vivian Donko. Martha Apia. Martha gives away Frederica Kayadiko. Frederica with a back flick. Thought that Joycelyn was around her. That coordination, that linkage had to be there. They need to be swift in thinking and supporting each other up front. That can be the only chance for them to double their lead. That is Essiam Socrates.
I felt she could have held on to the ball a bit once she was in the box. I know she knows how to do her thing, just to make sure she hold on to the ball to see if she can get a foul inside the box, but she decided to give that back flick. But yet was late. Barbara or Jocelyn was late in arriving for that ball.
Martha now takes over the captainship of Berry ladies after Cynthia Boachi-Iyadom was substituted. 60 minutes. An hour mark here. And it's Berry ladies 0, Essiam 1. Games involving these two teams have always been very feisty, very intense, with high tempo. Even in situations where one of them ends up winning convincingly, The game has always been intense. Berry Ladies and Estina Moatin gives away possession. Frederica Kai Adiko has this, and Frederica couldn't hold on to the ball. Deborano strikes it. She strikes it off the ball and takes over possession for Berry. And Estina Moatin. Essiam Socrates, Essiam, and this pass aimed at finding Joycelyn wasn't successful. How good would Berry Ladies come before the game ends?
Berry Ladies are now back into the team. They have lifted up their game a bit, but they need to do much more and surge forward because they need it. They need to respond swift and fast. Time approaches 60 minutes. They need to get that equalizer if really they want to get a point or win this game. This is the time for them to respond. But it seems Essiam have settled down and they are closing all gap, not giving spaces for Berry Ladies to operate. It's going to be difficult for Berry Ladies at this time. Knowing how crucial that 3 points is for them, they will need to defend this goal if they can score much more of it.
Defending it for the next 30 minutes is going to be a very tall order for them. Playing against a very resurgent side. Berry Ladies playing at home too. Another chance missed. It comes also at a cost for the two teams. Goalkeeper Vivian Donko. A collision there between herself and the player of Berry Ladies. It makes it 2 casualties, and each of these teams would have to hope that their players would be able to continue with the game. If Essiam Socrates are able to hold on to this goal that they have gotten, it would mean that they would get 11 points out of 12 games. They are currently pegged at 8 points on the 9th position table for the Southern Zone. So this is a huge victory that they need to hold on to, a huge lead to avoid another defeat. That is how the goal was conceded by Berry Ladies. Even with a victory for Essiam Socrates, they will still be at the 9th position.
We'll move them closer.
And they would have 6 games more to win to avoid relegation. For the Southern Zone Lady Strikers, they have 13 points. Benina have 12, but Benina play on Monday. So I've put them leapfrogging to 15 points and a different position as well on the league table for the Southern Zone. Soccer Intellectuals currently have 12 as well. So it's a very tight table altogether. And the battle for survival this time around is not going to be on the apex of the league table for the Southern Zone. However, it's going to be at the bottom of the league table. Battle for survival in the top tier of the Women's Premier League.
That is how interesting the Malta Women's Premier League comes with. You have all these matches to watch. You just have to be at the match center to witness any of these matches. It's a close call, maybe to the very last day before we'll be able to know who goes on relegation. Essiam Socrates are now surging forward, grabbing should I say, their first win away from home since the season, holding on to it. They need to do everything that they need to protect this goal. Either than that, then they should be counting themselves, saying bye-bye for this season, because every point now counts. 6 much more for them, and they need to do anything for it. They have lived up to expectation today, and they deserve the lead. at this point.
65 minutes, Berry Ladies 0, Essiam 1. Berry Ladies, Vivian Donko had to come out to deny Jacqueline Ampoma Amponsa from getting a head start to that ball before her. Essiam Socrates on the lookout for another goal. Other games are currently underway across the match centers for match day 12 of the Malta Guinness Women's Premier League. Hazakes are in action yesterday, and Pimdakwa Ladies, the defending champions, were equally in action. And Mukarama Abdullahi puts Hazakes with a goal, just as Lady Strikers have gotten a goal. So it's 1-1 apiece after 30 minutes of action. Vivian Donko gathers for Essiam Socrates. Pelpia Ladies, in a different game, have taken the lead at the expense of Fosu Royal Ladies. They've taken the lead by a goal. But here the Medina Astrotev, Portia Sechua, and it's a penalty. Was it in the penalty area or on the edge of it?
It looks on the edge of the box. It looks on the edge of the box. Lucky them.
Referee says that Portia Sechua was fouled right on the edge of the penalty area, and as such, it should be free kick to Berry Ladies. Deborah Ano might perhaps be able to get the equalizer for Berry Ladies from this free kick. The free kick, Deborah Ano, she takes a low drive, well saved by Vivian Donko. Splendid save.
This was a powerful drive. Vivian had her gloves to it, but it seems she's struggling with it. The medics has to be called to attend to her. That was a powerful drive there indeed.
Deborah Ano taking a sign, wondering when exactly she would get a goal from a set piece for her team. And that's what they so much need at the moment, because they are trailing with 70 minutes of action. And coach would use this chance, as Vivian is being treated, to have a word with his captain, Hannah Nyame. The treatment has to be top notch.
Is it the chest or the tummy?
You saw it better than I did. The fans of Berry Ladies are patiently waiting for that goal that will give them that edge, and of course, that consolation that, of course, they can win this game.
More time. 69 minutes, approaching the 70th minute.
Other results, once again, Pelpia Ladies have doubled their lead. They've extended their lead to 3-0 against Fosu Royal with 30 minutes of action. Soccer Intellectuals are trailing to Faith Ladies 1 goal. Kumasi Sports Academy have taken the lead against Prisons Ladies. So these are some of the results across the match centers, both in the southern and the northern zones.
Hope you're not picking their pieces together.
In the second round, as they usually do.
It
Very ladies here at the Medina AstroTurf are trailing to Frederica Kai Adiko's early second half goal for Essiam, with 20 minutes plus additional time to seek salvation. Joycelyn intercepts. Frederica gave it a chase, but it was a bit too late for her to get at the edge of it for Essiam. "71 minutes. Felicity Ajay is yet to have an impact in this game since she came in to replace Cynthia Boachi Yadom. If you look at how Berry ladies have been huffing and puffing in this game, you would wonder the days where they had the likes of their midfield maestro, Rashida Ibrahim, and then Jafaru, who were always banging in the goals for them, together with Philomena Abeka. And these players have left to continue their trades outside the shores of Ghana. The mantle has now befell on the likes of Ernestina Martin Deborano, Cynthia Boachi Yadom, and Jacqueline Ampoma Amponsa, to ensure that Berry ladies continue to make strides in the top tier of the Women's Premier League.
Essiam Socrates are trying to manage this game, being the first away game of the season. They are doing everything they can to close up the gap. They have left it too late, but it's never late for them. 6 matches more to go. Leading here at the Medina AstroTurf by a goal to nil. Berry ladies have lifted up their game, but would it be enough for them to equalize and go for a win? So I have about 20 minutes more to do that.
Frederica Kai Adiko lives off the pitch, hoping she comes back and continue for Essiam. Other than that, it's going to be a very huge blow for Essiam Socrates because she has been the drive up front for her team. Berry ladies, Janet Koko say too much of it. She couldn't pick it up. It goes behind for goal kick.
That was a lovely true pass for her, but very difficult for her to get her legs on it. Goal kick for Essiam Socrates. A long drive.
Throw in Victoria Amenyo. Jacqueline couldn't send that powerful delivery inside the half of Essiam Socrates. A difficult moment for Berry ladies. And their coach has a lot at stake. Paul Klinsmann and Ponsa Freeman needs to turn things around for his team. Janet Okosei. The clearance of course, of Hannah Nyamenieli sent home the head of Nafisa.
Just a good defender. The level was too high. I could have chested it calmly.
Frederica Kai Adiko returns to the pitch, continues to be the thorn in the flesh of the defense of Berry ladies, and Deborah Anno had to commit to that foul, and Frederica is all over. It's a yellow card for Deborah Ano, obviously frustrated as well. Two of her attempts, one which were very glaring, of course. One was denied by the woodwork, and the other one was saved by Vivian Donko. And her team are not equally performing up front, and she in defense had to commit another to save them from conceding another goal, which will end up deepening their woes here at the Medina Astroturf. 75 minutes played, free kick taken. How about the sublime goal scored and the celebration? Huge goal by Abigail of Essiam Socrates. A well-taken free kick that Grace couldn't find answers to. She doubles the lead of Essiam Socrates. A very powerful goal from the set piece, and Grace couldn't find answers to. Essiam Socrates 2, Berry Ladies 0.
A substitute coming in to inflict the second goal on Berry Ladies, dipping their woes. What a stellar performance. That was a free kick that you can never have anything to say. At the point, I thought it was just over. But how goalkeeper Grace Amoa could just be called more wanton. There wasn't a powerful drive anyway. It looked as if it was just outside. All of a sudden, at the back of the net. And Essiam Socrates, at least, as at now, could say they have secured that 3 points, running away or closing the gap. They deserve it anyway. Since first half up to now, they have been all over the pitch, creating chances, probing, asking questions, and yes, they have made it. 2 goals, 77 minutes. They have every minute on the pitch to defend, to manage it, to make sure they are right on track to salvage these 3 points.
The absolute rocket of Abigail doubles the lead for Essiam here at the Medina Astroturf with just 12 minutes to end the game. And that means Berry Ladies, out of necessity, would need to respond. But how would they do it? Where would they start from? What would be their consolation? A defeat would mean 3 consecutive defeats for Berry Ladies, and that would be one of their worst performance in the season. Essiam Socrates 2, Berry Ladies, the home side, 0.
Thanks to Frederick Kai Adeko. She was the one who was fouled. Malta had a card on that one. They're having that free kick, and they converted into a goal. And the second time around, she is the same person getting Deborah booked, and then the second consecutive time scoring the second goal.
As I indicated to you earlier, that the Essiam Socrates team is intact. It's just one player missing. They have the core of the team around, and as such, what the team need to work much more on has to do with the psyche of the girls, and they would perform. This would be a very huge statement for them. This will be a morale booster for them for the remaining 6 games. In their next game, they would be at the Essiam Astroturf for the match day 13. And that would mean that they will go all out and ensure that they get another victory in it, all geared towards avoiding relegation in their second season. They would host Army Ladies on match day 13 at the Essiam Astroturf.
That would be a tough match.
A tough match, but determination and teamwork can overcome. With home-based support, their performance can come through very well for them at the end of the day. 80 minutes played. The dominance of Essiam Socrates has made Berry Ladies a pale shadow of themselves. They are just hanging on, hoping to hear the final whistle. Comfort Covenant, but it's a throw in The clumsy tackle of Deborah Ano proves costly for her side as they concede another goal. Jacqueline Ampoma Amponsa hasn't really gotten a good day at the office today. Essiam Socrates, Joycelyn for Essiam Socrates. Joycelyn takes her time, trying to position herself well and shoots an awful finish after that long effort of trying to position herself better.
There were people who have positioned themselves that she could have laid on a pass and then positioned herself very well, but she decided to be selfish and go for that shot, of which was blocked at the end. Feeble one. They are leading, so they can afford this one.
Vivian Donko has 8 minutes to ensure that Essiam leave here to the central region with their 3 points and 2 goals. And Estina Martin to comfort Berry Ladies. But Ekuya Nyamiche gets the ball for Essiam Socrates. Joycelyn's first control was not the best. That ended up allowing Estina Martin to see enough of it and get the possession for Berry Ladies. Jacqueline Ampoma Amponsan sets up Janet Koko. Janet Koko. A Felicity NPAJ. The good old days of Felicity NPAJ. Free kick to Berry Ladies. Free kick to Berry Ladies and a yellow card. The third of the game going the way of the captain of Essiam Socrates. And that is Hannah Nyame. Substitution effected by Berry Ladies. Changing goalkeepers. Changing goalkeepers by Berry Ladies.